Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
It's like, who's going to pull the cord? How's everybody doing?
Yay.
Good.
Doing
Hope
good.
y'all
Trying
are
to deal
doing
with
great
this.
too. Huh?
Trying to deal with this up and down weather.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, here in Texas.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
nice today. I was out and
Was.
about and it was so nice.
Yay.
I think there's going to be a 40
Hey,
degree
Nat.
temperature drop, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's supposed to get in the 20s or something tonight again.
Ugh,
Or,
I don't like it.
no. Hey, Annette.
Hi, Annette.
So today, oh,
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
so today we're going to be talking about us.
Woohoo.
How we all got started in the paranormal and how we all met and all that fun stuff. Oh no, Annette says that you're sick.
Oh,
You're sick of the cold. Oh, okay.
Not with us. Of the.
Yeah. I read that, like I'm talking and then I just read that and I just zoned in on that because I knew like a lot of people are getting
A
sick
lot of
and
people
They
are
are.
getting sick.
getting
Yeah.
a stomach bug or
Yeah.
I had to go for a
COVID
checkup today and my doctor was saying how many she was telling me how many COVID cases they had and flu and she said it was just bad right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
No good.
That's it. That's the only thing, you know. I mean, I like winter and the cold and stuff because, you know, all the bugs go away.
They do.
No, you don't have to deal with bugs. Like I don't mind butterflies, but I do not like wasps.
Ladybugs. No bees.
Yeah. I
No
mean,
wasps.
yeah.
No
Nothing
spiders.
flying with stingers. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
flies.
Exactly.
And
Hmm.
have you ever had to deal with a cockroach?
Ooh.
No, I don't
No.
want to deal with that. Yeah. I don't know. And so
You should try going to our farm in the summer because there's
cockroach.
cows and I mean the flies are ridiculous. It's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, there's flies out here out in the country.
Hey, Georgie.
They know when you're bringing a picnic, you know, or
Mm-hmm.
I tried to have a picnic outside one year and we were going to go to like the park in our neighborhood and we were carrying all the stuff with all of our friends and then all of a sudden the flies just came down
Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
and like it went flying everywhere and we were like
grab
okay,
your
never
food.
mind. Yeah, never mind. We got to go back to the house and just eat inside.
my.
I'm like, golly, what the heck? Where are these flies come out? We thought we were in the middle of nowhere, but no, flies are here.
There you go. They found you.
Yeah. Oh, George. Hey, George.
Hi, George.
Miss investigating with you.
Yeah.
We got to do something this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. So let's kick it off with you, Carla.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, who came first?
Egg chicken.
Yeah.
Well, I got started in the paranormal through probably my mom. Back when I was younger, she was very much into sci-fi horror movie type stuff and the paranormal and hauntings and stuff like that. And I was pretty young, maybe around 6 or so, but I was always fascinated with the underdog of the horror movies. Like if you had the big giant spiders that were going to eat the city type thing, and you see all the people try and shoot their rifles at the spider trying to kill it, and I'd feel really bad for the spider. It just kind of went down that path many times. I always felt bad for whatever they were shooting at. But and then my mom, she was really into like watching haunted things that have hauntings in them and stuff like that. So I started watching that with her, and I think it just sparked an interest as far as how does that stuff happen? Is it really real? You know, what does it all mean? And then it seemed like I was just interested in it from that perspective for a while, and then it kind of went into um, my more teenage, young adult years, where, well, when I was still a child, I actually had, and I don't know if it was paranormal to this day, but it was where I had, hey Tony, I had
Hi, Tony.
bedroom, and I had something laying on my bed, and when I walked in the room, and it was still daylight, walked in the room, whatever was, and I can't even remember what, if it was just like a book or there was just an object on my bed, and I just remember it moving when I walked in the room. It was moving on its own, and I got
Mm.
because I didn't understand it, didn't know what it was, and I go running out, you know, and you know, somebody come look in my room. There's something in there, type of a thing. But it started piquing the interest, and fast forward into more adult life, I started showing an interest in wanting to go on some investigations, because I never had went on an investigation in my younger years. And um, so my first, I should say first real investigation was at the Nazareth Hospital in Mineral Wells when it was open, and I went there several times until they had it closed, and had some pretty scary experiences there. And yeah, I was one of those that ran when I heard footsteps running after me. I think it was just at the time it was um, just natural instinct when you can't see something but you hear it. And so it started with all that, and that is I wish they'd reopen it, but I understand the reason why they don't have it open
Yeah.
anymore. But that was an extremely active hospital, and I was so interested at that point and wanting to learn more and just hungry for the education of the paranormal, and doing it right, and understanding like what would I have to offer? What would I have to um you know offer spirit, like in the means of helping someone. And so that's when I started going out a little bit further. And my first paid, I should say, investigation went to Broken Bow Asylum in Oklahoma. And that's where I met Tony and Michael. And I was by myself. Well, my son actually went with me, but he ditched me and went to the casino. So he goes, "You make
Funny.
friends easy. So you go make friends." And I'm just like,
That's so funny.
and, and anyway, so they took me under their wing, and I learned a lot of what not to do, like have my flashlight on, but have it facing behind me so it's shining in Tony's eyes, and I'm getting yelled at all night long for having the flashlight shining in her eyes all the time. And all I kept on saying was, I swear to God, my main words that night were, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." But I learned a lot from them, watching them, and met a lot of other people there, and we kind of just kept in touch from there and formed a team. I met Lorinda, and we formed a group, Southern Fried Spirits Paranormal, and and so it's just blossomed from there, and we've just added to it. And then enter Adam when we went to Old Park Hotel and in Ballinger, Texas, and I met Adam there. Been lifelong buds ever since. That was a lot of fun. And then another time I went back to Broken Bows when I met Jackie. Because we
Yay.
kind of
Yeah.
pre-coordinated, but we never really knew each other. She had a
Right,
team
right.
going, and then we just said we'd meet there. And that's how it all kicked off with Jackie. And then fast forward a year or two into the future, and then we had an opening in one of our investigations in Jefferson, Texas. And Adam reached out to one of his contacts, which is Catherine, and basically told her, we got an opening. Do you want to go on an investigation? And she's like, yeah. And that was your very first investigation with the team.
Yeah.
And it's just blossomed from there. And we started pulling together more people, and the team's kept together really well.
Yeah.
And we continue to coordinate and pick locations and get them on the calendar and get them booked and go out and try and understand the spirit world and how we can help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought what Annette said was pretty interesting. She says that I hear the Nazareth may be opening up.
Really?
That would be interesting.
That means it would have had to have undertaken quite the code upgrade.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be something.
Hmm.
Yes. If it ever does open back up, that would be a fascinating place to go back to.
Yeah, I would want to check it out.
Yeah.
Because I've never been.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
Yeah.
it looks
It
crazy.
seems like those hospitals / asylum type areas, it's a totally different feel than like a hotel or a home. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Me too, Annette.
And the energy could be kind of, take on a different tone.
Exactly.
Depending on what has occurred there, because it's not always sunshine and rainbows.
No.
Especially in the hospital.
Exactly. I mean, you're probably
imagine.
dealing with people that are at their worst.
Yeah.
Emotionally and physically and stuff. It's completely different than a home, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes you could be dealing with military, maybe it turned into, a hospital for the military base camp for them to stay, or some places were, dealing with tuberculosis patients.
Yep.
And all sorts of things. So that occurred back then, so a lot of
I was reading the
sadness.
notes. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I've heard about that place too.
Yeah, that's one I haven't been to. That's not too far away.
I haven't been there either.
I haven't been there either. We could.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Add that to the list.
So, so who did you meet first, Carly? Adam?
I met Tony.
Tony. Well, I mean, on our chat, like not. I mean, since Tony's not on here. I mean, she's in the comments, but I mean, like.
Oh.
Between Adam and Jackie.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, no. Adam.
Okay. So, Adam, do you want to go next?
I see what she did there.
And then Jackie. We'll just go in order. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Sorry, Tony. Tony, you can put your story in the comments.
We can bring you on.
Yeah, we can bring you on.
real quick.
I can send you an invite. She's like,
Go ahead, Al.
please.
Well, I was about 12, and my story is similar to you, Carla, because I was laying in bed, and um, you know how you feel somebody sit on your bed, and
Mhm.
I was laying on my stomach with my arms up like that, watching TV ahead of me, and my feet were up, and I felt like something sat on the end of the bed, on the other end of the bed. It felt like somebody sat down, and I turned like that, and there's nobody there. Didn't see nobody, and ever since then, it's kind of been like, what the heck was that? And then just going throughout life, hearing about ghosts and spirits, and like, what's that stuff? And um, never really investigated till I worked at the Minger Hotel for a short time, and I kind of did like investigating there on the clock.
Nice.
Don't tell,
Um,
huh?
Yeah, segue into there. It's okay, Adam. You don't work there no more. You can say it.
That's right.
Might as well get paid to enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
exactly. About 13 years too late. So, but yeah, did some investigating there, and then was part of a team here in San Antonio, but I felt like I didn't really learn anything there. So not until, like Carla said, met Carla at Old Park Hotel, and I think like we happened to get like one or two other places at the same time, and just from there we took off as being friends, and got everybody else wrapped up in this fun house. So
Crazy team.
crazy team, yeah. So, but yeah, that's what pretty much got me into it. Just something sitting on my bed that I couldn't see, and
Mm.
got me interested.
It's scary, but it's intriguing
Mm-hmm.
because it's like
What
you
was
don't
that?
ignore it, but you want to know more, but you're kind of afraid
Exactly.
at the same time.
Yeah.
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 So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, it was enough to make me turn around to see, like it felt that movement. Not, I don't want to say like heavy, but you feel it move. I'm like, what was that? And like I said, just growing up and hearing about different ghost stories and things
Mhm.
moving by themselves. I'm like, that's probably what it was, a ghost.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Very cool.
Well, what about you, Jackie?
Well, I'm a little bit like Carla, where my mom was she loved scary horror. And I always joke with her. I said, when I was, 11 or 12, she wouldn't let me watch Grease because of the sexual content, but I could watch any of the scary and horror movies that I wanted. So, in fact, she used to show them to my kids. At one point, my youngest would come, or my oldest would come in and say he saw a movie, and I was like, "Where in the world did you see that? Grandma's house." So, yeah, she kind of got me into it. Nothing really happened that I remember when I was a kid, but as an adult, it seems like we've moved several times, and it seems like at every house we've been at, something has happened. One house we were at, we woke up, kids' rooms were on the other side of the house. And my husband is the biggest skeptic in the whole world, but to this day, he'll say that was weird because we were asleep, and we always tell the kids to knock on our door if they wanted to come in. And I mean, something just beat on our door. It was like bang, bang, bang. And I immediately got up thinking it was the kids, and I opened the door, and there was absolutely nothing there. And I walked to the other side of the house, and all the kids were in bed, and both of us shot straight up in the bed. we don't know what that was. And then I had an instance where another house we were living in, I decided to stay up late by myself, and I watched a shoe that was in the middle of the floor. It was sitting flat as it could be, and I watched the thing turn over onto its side. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to bed now. It freaked me out. But, I started,
Wow.
the thing that got me into the investigating was some good friends of ours. We had gone to Colorado. My husband was doing the Pikes Peak. He went up Pikes Peak on a race. So we decided, oh, it would be fun to go to the Stanley Hotel, and I've been hooked ever since. I mean, we did a few, I didn't even know what I was doing when I was there, but it was, it was the greatest. And then I met Carla, I guess, kind of online. There's a group of girls that we still do things, but I'm retired, so I can I can do a lot more than they can. And they have families and they're still working, so they haven't been able to go as much with me. But we started going to a few places. Our first place was Old Park Hotel, and that was something else. And well, I take it back. First place was the Magnolia Hotel, but I'm just, you're just hooked as soon as you start seeing stuff that is actually, I mean, you just can't explain it. And I'm like Carla, it's like you just wonder exactly what it is and how can you, because how many times have we been on investigations and you hear them asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that it kind of just, I don't know. It just makes you want to keep going and keep seeing what's out there. So, but yeah, that was my story.
Sticking to it.
Yeah.
And then we ran into each other at Broken Bow.
Yeah. That was the first time I met you. Was
That
Broken
was
Bow.
when we got to meet face to face.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah,
And then we've been up. Tony says.
Yep.
Yeah. Tony said that she lived in her grandmother's haunted house in her early 20s and saw her first apparition and have had experiences all my life.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
You do get hooked and it's like a pull. At least for me, it's like a pull. You really want to help.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to understand why they're there, why they're still there, what do they need help with? Do they need help? And then what can we do to help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something else. I don't know. All right, Catherine.
All right. So when I was little, and not my mom, but my grandma got me into scary movies, horror movies. I'd always go to grandma's house over the weekends and spend the night, have like a little slumber party. My grandma would put on like a scary movie and we would watch scary movies, and then she'd cook me pancakes in the morning and just hanging out with grandma. And my grandma, she's into the paranormal, and she's always been really big into that. And her house, she has seen things happen in her house, like her knickknacks that play music will go off on their own. Oh. And one time she was walking to her bedroom, and this is like I don't know if you guys know, but this is a Fox and Jacob kind of, style house. If you don't know what that is, you can look up Fox and Jacob. They're no longer.
I lived in one. That was the house that I got the knock at the door. Was a Fox and Jacob's home.
I tell you what, they're probably building those houses on burial grounds. I tell you that much. Like poltergeist. And so now I'm going to get sued. No, now they're Syntex homes. Okay. Anyways, I think. Anyway.
Yeah, they
But
are.
oh, okay, yeah.
People are going to start pulling out of their contracts now.
Oh, glad they're on it. Or they might start buying
No.
more.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe it'll bring their business up. No. And so my grandma, she was walking to her bedroom and she happened to look up and she saw a Native American sitting and looking up at her. And he was sitting on a chair that didn't exist, you know, so
Mm.
Oh wow.
he was sitting there and he looks up at her and then she turns her head and then when she looks back, he's gone. And
Oh,
then
wow.
here recently, she's been saying how in the middle of the night, she'll hear drum beating.
Mm.
And she got up once and she yelled and she said, you know, stop. And they stopped.
Wow.
But then they start back up again.
Huh.
Wow.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, I mean, she got me into like scary movies and movies about spirits and ghosts, and I've always been intrigued by that. My grandma, she gave me her tarot deck. And yeah, so I have a tarot deck that she bought because she was interested in that. She only used it like once, and so she gave it to me.
That's pretty priceless.
Yeah.
Love that.
I have it. Hold on, I'm back up. I'm backing up.
Back it up.
You're like, where's she going? Okay. It was one of those, you know, you buy. She probably saw it on like some like, what is those? What are those shopper buying like you watch on TV? What is
Oh,
it?
yeah.
Shoppers
Yeah.
Network. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shopping Network. My grandma loves those dang things. So she probably bought this off some shopping network. The instant
Oh,
tarot reader.
Nice.
And it has like a book and like instructions and stuff. But it has the tarot deck, this thing
Nice.
here, you know, that kind of thing. So
Very
my
cool.
grandma gave me that. But we also, whenever I was a young girl, she bought a Ouija board.
Yeah, I'm with it.
And we used it in her house. You know, nothing crazy happened, you know, and we ended up closing, you know, that kind of thing. But the Native Americans are still there.
That's
They were
funny.
probably there the whole time anyway. But so, you know, it like all that stuff just got me interested, and then I started watching, you know, the paranormal shows with my parents because my parents like the paranormal too. And so we'd watch, you know, Ghost Hunters, and of course, my parents love Ghost Adventures. Sorry, you guys. Yeah. So
No comments.
yeah, you know. So, you know, we started watching all those shows, and I was like, you know, this is really fascinating. But before we started watching those shows, I've had things happen to me that were unexplained. Sorry, I'm not posting anything.
No,
Oh,
you're fine.
Maddie.
Maddie and
What's
Amy.
up?
And Amy.
How many?
Back that ass up. Hey,
There's Amy.
Maddie.
And so when we've had some weird stuff happen with me and my family. So whenever I was a little girl, I was laying on the sofa, and it's one of those sofas that's like a, what is it? It was a, I can't think of words.
Like a sectional?
Yeah, it was a sectional and it had that long like bed thing, the
Yeah.
chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of it. Well, I was laying on that, and then all of a sudden I felt like cold on my left side. And I'm like, it feels cold over here. But then like here it was normal, you know? And I was telling my mom about it. And I don't know if this happened at the same time or it's just, or maybe it's just different days or different instances, but I've had that. But then also one time I was in the upstairs bathroom and my parents' house is kind of like a half story, like 2-story. So like when you walk up the stairs, there's the landing and then there's a bathroom in the middle and then 2 bedrooms on the sides on either side. So it's just a half level and then you can look over the balcony and see the living room. Well, I walked upstairs and I went to the bathroom and I was looking in the mirror and all of a sudden I see this white figure behind me, but just the side profile. And it almost looked like a side profile of like a man. And then I see him go behind me and then apparently like I thought he was probably going to go down the stairs. Well, when I turned to look to see if somebody was going down the stairs, nobody was there. And so I told my mom about that. And she's like, well, maybe, you know, maybe it's my brother or whatever, because I said that he had like a similar nose or something to like her in a way, or my dad. And so she's like, well, maybe, you know, it's her brother who passed away when she was like 18. And so, you know, I don't know. And so that happened. And then also when my mom had some weird stuff happen, like when my grandpa was about to pass away, he said, he told my mom, because see, my mom was telling me this too. He looked at my mom and said, you know, did you feel that on your back? And my mom felt a finger, like right before my grandpa asked her, she felt like a finger go down her back. And my mom told my grandpa no, because she was kind of scared and thought, oh, he's just, you know, I don't know. And he looked kind of disappointed when she said no, because he knew that she did feel it. And he told her, I forgot exactly what, if my mom was watching this, she would chime in, but he told her something like, basically he knew it was his time and that Jesus was there or something like that. And then right before he passed, like, you know, and my grandma said goodbyes, like his eyes would be kind of, you know, glazed and foggy. But when my grandma looked at him, his eyes were like sparkling blue, like, you know, he was brand new, you know.
Mhm.
And he would tell them that he sees, you know, things, you know, and then and then like right before, you know, when he's telling them that, right after that, he ended up passing away.
Wow.
Wow.
And so, and that's a common thing with people when they are getting ready to pass, they start seeing, you know, folks they know or having conversations,
Yep.
that kind of thing.
That's true.
And so, so my mom told me about that. And what was weird is I think my uncle ended up passing away at my grandma's house. He didn't really talk very much because he was in, he kind of, I don't know. We think he had like Agent Orange and all that stuff. So he didn't really talk very much. And he ended up passing away in his sleep from pneumonia. And I don't know exactly how long that was between him passing away and my grandpa, but it just seemed like one person after another. Well, after that happened, all of a sudden a crow came down and visited my grandma. And the crow would stay with my grandma. There's nothing wrong with the crow. My grandma would feed the crow water and stuff. And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to come over and see the crow because my mom, she would come over and help my grandma take care of the house, vacuum and stuff like that, because now it's just my grandma, you know, alone in the house. And so we would drive over there. And when we pulled in, I see this big crow in the front yard. And the front yard was fenced too. And I just thought that was kind of crazy. We would walk inside the house And I'm like, I want to, give the crow water. This is so cool. A wild,
Yeah.
bird that just comes out of nowhere. And so they're like, here, you can give him a bowl of water. So I went outside to give the crow water, and he flew to the water bowl. So it's not like he's, hurt or anything. And I was just sitting there and seeing him drink. And then I get up and then I walk over to the picnic table. And then I notice he's following me. He's not flying. He's like walking behind me. And so I just thought that was really weird. And I think when I see my loved ones, when I'm passing, I'll feel excited, but I'm not fully sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I walked over to the picnic table and I sat down on the picnic table, and then all of a sudden the crow jumps up and sits next to me on the bench. And so I'm like, well, this is interesting. So I turn around and I stick my feet underneath the picnic table because I had my back towards the table, and the bird jumped up on the bench. So I decided to swing around and put my feet under the table. And when I did that and I was facing the table, the bird jumped up on the table and stood right there in front of me.
Oh, wow.
And he's looking around, and I'm like, I want to pet the bird, but I was too afraid to pet because I didn't want it to peck me or something.
Yeah.
It's a wild bird still.
Yeah.
But I just thought that this was very strange. And I was into the paranormal. I was probably like 12 when this happened, 11 or 12 when it happened. And so I was just like, I was looking at the bird and I'm like, Grandpa? I did say that, but nothing, but the bird's just looking around, and it didn't make any noises or anything like that. And I just thought that was so cool. It'd follow me around and just sit next to me or stand. It's not really sitting, it's standing, but stand, next to me. And I'm like looking at it, and it's looking at me eye to eye, kind of thing. And it's just, it's looking around too, moving its head kind of fast. But, and it was cool seeing him up close, this big bird, and he's not going to pick my eyeballs out. But I just thought that was just the neatest thing. And when we left, my grandma ended up, call my mom, and they were talking, and she said that the crow left. But she said that when the crow left, a bunch of crows came down, and then they all flew off together like they were saying goodbye.
Oh.
So
Wow.
it was just a really weird experience. And I know people say, well, crows are bad omens, that someone's going to die. Well, someone already did die. So, I don't really believe in that kind of thing because
I think there's something with birds. I don't know whether any of y'all saw it. But I posted a video when my stepdad passed away, or he was on hospice and he was about to pass away. My son, I was at the nursing home, and my son called me and said, Mom, there's a bird in the house. And it was just the strangest thing because we never could figure out how that bird got in the house. I went and, I had to try to get him out. I opened a door and he flew out, and my dad passed away the next day. And was looking up. I mean, there's something about birds and death that coincide. And I don't like that whole situation. I don't think that was a coincidence at all. That bird was in that house for a reason. It was just symbolic to me because I watched the bird. He was confused and flying around the house, and I opened the door and was trying to kind of get him to go out, and he finally just kind of he found the door and he flew away. And it just made me think, Daddy's going to find that door and fly away. There's just something about birds. There really is.
Yeah, it's like they're a carrier, to take you on to the afterlife kind of thing. But I mean, I never got the sense of something bad when that happened. Right. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't anything bad. And, I think that's kind of a misconception or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, besides, you know, in a spiritual light, I also think that, you know, animals can sense things too, you know,
Mhm.
and so they,
Yeah.
you know,
Agree.
so, but I just thought that was really crazy. And so, you know, when I got older and we started watching these paranormal shows, it made me, you know, want to one day go and investigate and see it for myself and witness it in person and figure out what's going on out there, because, you know, it's a mystery and it's exciting, and you know, I'm not scared. I find it exciting and intriguing
Mhm.
that, you know, there's something else that's bigger than us that's out there, and you know, we don't fully understand what goes on, but it's, you know, it's fun to try and find out if you can, you know,
Yeah.
before you pass away, and then, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it kind of reaffirms the fact that life doesn't necessarily end. It just goes to
Right.
another realm.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, you're going on to the next phase.
yeah, your essence, your energy is,
Yeah.
you know, everlasting.
Yeah.
Maybe, you know, your organic body may pass away,
Sure.
but you will always be around, and you may
Mhm.
not be always what you are today, you know.
Right.
You never know, you could transition into uh another being or person or something, you know.
I really want to come back as my own dog.
Oh, there you go.
It's so over the top spoiled that it's just like I want to come back as my own dog.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Mm.
But and so since, you know, since that, I since we live, you know, not that far from Goatman's Bridge, so I decided to go there and make a YouTube video about spending the night there in the woods back there. Because we used to go camping out in the woods at Goatman's Bridge before Ghost Adventures did their little segment, and then now it's like graffitied and crazy over there. There's a bunch of people over there.
Mhm.
I mean, there used to be, you know, kids, high school kids that lived in the area, you know, or surrounding areas that would go there on Halloween or whatever to try to scare each other. Even when my parents went to high school, you know, that was the thing. Go
Right.
there and scare each other and honk your horn to see the goat man and have your lights on and then your lights turned off, you know, without you turning them off, you know, that kind of thing. The whole, you know, legend and all that. So I wanted to go there. We ended up spending the night. We didn't do any ghost hunting or, you know, paranormal investigating. We just went camping,
Mhm.
brought, you know, hot dogs and roasted s'mores, and I never had a problem. We would go like during like the early fall when it was cool, and then like spring.
Mhm.
Sometimes it would be like freezing cold at night, and there was no bugs apparently. Like, I mean, when we went, there was no bugs. I know on Ghost Adventures there was bugs everywhere, but when we went, there was nothing. So I wasn't, you know, afraid to go pee in the dark, except for, you know, watch out for snakes. But but I mean, like, the only thing that was out there is like game wardens and
Mm.
people. But you know, mostly, you know, people would stay away from your tent and stuff, and but now it's just kind of crazy. But I went there to do a YouTube video and just walk the ground during the daylight and just told my story about how we used to go, you know, camping out there, and we scared some kids on Halloween one year, which was really funny. And so I posted that YouTube video, and then I get a message on Facebook saying, "Hey, are you the lady who posted that YouTube video about Goatman's?" And I'm like, "Yes, how did you find my personal page?" No.
That's
But
funny.
I'm like, "Well, it's all out there." And so I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Do you want to start your own, you know, podcast, your own show?" And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Yeah." But then I was kind of nervous because I'm like, "What am I going to talk about?" I don't really do much. And so I'm like, oh God, now I got to come up with content. And I already got this YouTube channel that I'm doing horror unboxings on. And I'm just like, oh gosh, and I'm not even keeping up with that. I got ADHD. So I lose track of things. So, And so I'm just like, oh goodness. And then they introduced me on their show, and that's how I met Adam. Was virtually like this, where we were talking, and I was just, going into a little bit about me, and then like the show that I'm going to be starting up, that kind of thing. And then that's when, maybe, I don't know, weeks passed by, and since Adam knew I was in Texas, that's when he invited me to go on an investigation with him and the team that he's with. And because apparently one of the ladies couldn't make it, and so I was like, oh, I mean, that'd be awesome. And I'm thinking to myself, I feel kind of bad too, because I'm like, are you sure you don't really know me? And I hope you don't think I'm like a lunatic.
Too late.
So I'm like, I'm thinking,
We're stuck with each other.
and then, also I don't really know you guys. And I'm like, well, I know other women are going to be there. So, it's not just, a guy, and I'm going to meet a guy out in the middle of nowhere, and, I don't know, so, it could have, I'm glad. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
But,
I'm just,
yeah.
I'm glad that,
yeah.
Huh?
But yeah, I mean that's because I knew you always wanted to like get out there and investigate, and then like you lived, because I knew you mentioned before like you lived like in northeast Texas, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like it clicked, like, let me ask her, and then I'm like, well, can I have somebody send you like the information, and just get connected like that, and
yeah,
And
here we are.
boom.
yeah, I'm glad that, I mean, you met me on that show, and so you probably got a vibe that, that I'm okay. At first, so it's just like, there's a risk that you're taking, there's a risk that I'm taking going, but it was a risk I was willing to take because, I was hoping that, since y'all go and investigate places, I was hoping that y'all would like me. And I was going to be real quiet and just let y'all do your thing and record and stuff and watch y'all do it and stuff, not go crazy on y'all just yet. Feel y'all out before I show you,
That's funny.
but I'm glad that y'all took the risk and let
We are
me
too.
come investigate with you guys. And it was kind of crazy because, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I almost feel like, certain things get set up in your life to push you towards certain things happening,
Mhm.
and that, it's not just a coincidence.
Yeah, there's no coincidences. Everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was kind of crazy is, on my way to the location that I was meeting you guys at, which I cannot disclose because somebody is probably watching. On my way there, on my way there, things happen for a reason. Tony said,
Yep. Yeah.
on my way there, I almost get into a car accident because this guy, I mean, there's nobody around. It was just me and my Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. It's just, oh, she goes, yes, I am. Oh, Lord. I know.
Undisclosed location.
Yeah. Well, on my way there, like, there's no one around except for me and my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And
It's really all you need.
yeah. I just need some coffee. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Dunkin' Donuts. Anyway, so we were going, I was going there, and there's nobody around me. It's just me and my, bright blue car, and this guy in this truck decides just to come out in front of me to cut all the way across to the other lane to go the opposite direction. And I almost hit him. Like, I almost hit him in my car. And who knows what would have happened if I did hit him. My front end would probably be destroyed. But I ended up like turning my wheel and, I don't know, just, crazy, just last minute reaction kind of thing. And somehow I missed, T-boning him. And I was like inches away from his truck bed. I don't know how that happened. It just happened so fast. And so, because I just remember him, like me just being right there, and then all of a sudden turning my wheel, and somehow I'm already at like
Divine
inches away.
intervention.
Yeah. And I just thought that was so weird. And so when I got to the location and we went to go eat, brunch, and just talking, and then I get to listen to them and get to know them. I decided to let them know about, my trip here to this location and almost getting hit. But like we were talking about paranormal stuff, and I was mentioning about my grandpa who passed away, and how the crow came down. It was the same grandpa on my mom's dad. And my parents, when my grandpa passed away, the number 13 kept popping up everywhere. For my parents, like numbers keep popping up for my parents on certain things. And so when after we ate and I was telling them about the number 13 or whatever, we decided to go on a tour. And we went on not the ghost tour at night, but this was another tour. Yeah, the Grove tour. And when we got there, this was after we ate. There was 12 people participating in the Grove tour, but then all of a sudden one person shows up, one extra person, which made he wanted to get a head count, and there was 13. So it was like the number stood out. Like at first, I'm just like, la la, ooh, cats. There's cats outside, and then Carla turns and she goes, 13, and and I'm like, oh, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, yeah, my grandpa's number. I was just telling you guys about that and how that number kept popping up. So it was almost like, on my way to this location, it's almost like my grandpa's way of saying, hey, I'm with you and I wanted you to be able, to go to this, that's, just a sign. Here's your sign, as what Jeff Foxworthy says about redneck jokes. But anyways, here's your sign. I don't know, that pops in my head. And so I just thought that was just real crazy. And then during our brunch, I keep going back and forth, but during our brunch before the Grove and before number 13 kind of thing, and I was getting to know them, I was mentioning to them about how things would go staticky, and like I would always have problems with my phone electronics and stuff like that. Well, then like later on, out of nowhere, this metal piece just comes flying out of the sky. I mean, we're sitting inside. We're not eating outside. It just comes flying out, and it goes in between me and Carla. Carla was sitting next to me, and I bend down and I pick it up and kind of find out it's like a magnet. And we were looking everywhere. We were looking underneath chairs, what was on the wall, to see if that metal piece belonged to something on the wall and maybe it just fell off, but we couldn't find anything. And we're like, well, this is weird. And then just going on the ghost tour that night, and how Jody, who is the tour guide for Jefferson, she was mentioning, we were standing by, we're on the ghost tour, I'll just put it that way. There's a lamp post, and she was mentioning about Stephen King staying there, and then getting the idea of writing Poltergeist. And for some odd reason, I decided to wear my Poltergeist t-shirt that day. And she mentioned that, and I had no idea. I didn't look up the history or nothing. I was just wearing a Poltergeist t-shirt. I just thought that was crazy. And all of a sudden, she starts mentioning a spirit by the name Catherine. And right when she said Catherine, and Catherine's my name, not my way. Catherine's my name. And right when she said Catherine, all of a sudden the lamppost, the light turns off. And Carla and Adam look at me, and I'm like, I don't know, that was weird. When we decided to move on to the next location, I turned and I look at that lamppost and I'm like, well, I guess it's not going to turn back on. And right when I made that snarky remark, the lamppost turned back on. And that's when Adam looked at me and Carla looked at me, and Adam's like, and
I'm
that,
looking at Adam like, what the hell did you bring?
and it was just the weirdest thing. And so, and that's how they first met me. I know that was a very long explanation. I probably dragged it out. Yeah. But yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, buy the Excelsior. Yeah.
That's funny.
Hello, David.
Hi.
But I know Maddie had a question. She goes, how about you guys? How will you feel? Like, if she was asking about if we saw our loved ones, right before we pass.
Like the loved ones that were leaving or loved ones that were going to?
The loved ones we're going to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
That
yeah,
would be amazing.
that
Yeah.
will be amazing.
I mean, that would be nice, to
Be greeted.
be greeted. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By everybody just standing there. I just picture like everybody
Come
just
on
standing there.
in.
Yeah, looking at you. Me looking at, I'd be like,
Thank
just,
you, Georgie.
aw,
Have a good
good
night.
night.
Right.
But yeah, he needs to get to bed. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I think that would be nice. That would be cool because I wouldn't want to be alone. Because this is
No.
a new experience
Mhm.
to put in your books.
All your pets will be there.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so, but that'd be a crowded room. No.
Yeah. It will be.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All the cats on the bed with you. Yeah, just looking up at you. Yeah. So, yeah.
So cheers to many, many more adventures in the years to come for all of us.
Yeah.
I think
Super
it'll be
exciting.
good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of adventures, maybe we could do a quick recap of what's coming up.
Yeah, let's do that. I got a sticky because I need to write down these dates too.
Okay. So a week from this Saturday, the 27th of January, we're going to be going to the 209 house in Claiborne, Texas.
Woo!
Yeah, that's going to be good. I don't know whether you guys have caught Wandering Souls Paranormal or Tracy May's videos she's been posting. Yay! I mean, the videos she's been posting when they're not there and the noises that house is making is pretty amazing.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Yeah. So lots to look forward to. I know that she just posted one a couple days ago or a day before, and they can't figure out what the noise is, but you just have to go look at it and watch it.
Yeah.
It's
if I wasn't going to that Paracon in shorts, I would still be going there with y'all.
Oh,
But Adam,
6 months ago.
you can plug yours. You're going to go to the Lone Star Paracon. That's also
That'll
on
be
the
cool.
27th in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Do a lot
Sure.
of snoozing for us and
Yeah.
see if we can find out on locations and what people are doing, all that fun stuff.
there
Yeah.
you go.
It's like sending the reporter out on investigation.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
Wear my
awesome.
30%.
That's right. That's
Yes.
right. Represent.
Yeah.
And then what else do we have? February. We have an undisclosed location that we're going to in Weatherford. It's a new location. and we don't have authorization yet to talk about it, but that'll be on the 24th, a Saturday. We'll be doing that. And then March will be with Amy.
Another undisclosed
weekend.
Gosh, people are like, well, where y'all going?
With Amy.
Yeah.
Party at Amy's.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's already.
She goes, yay!
Yay.
That's gonna be awesome.
And then I know that in September we have the
April.
2024. Well, I don't have an April yet.
But we do.
What do we have? Hello.
Well,
Hey, that's what I'm wondering.
isn't April Old Park?
That's right. That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
You're right. April. I kept on thinking of something that our team planned, but we're
Here's my stickies. Here's stickies.
Yeah. I have it on my calendar. We will be
I need to
at
put it on mine.
Old Park with the Ghoul Gals Paranormal
Yes.
from San Antonio. We're doing a little collaboration of teams, and we're going to be spending the night there. So that's going to be exciting. It'll be fun to investigate with another team and
That will be fun.
see what kind of good stuff we can come up with.
Yeah.
And then I think we have a few things planned. I know that we want to do a Galveston investigation, and I know that we want to get Myrtle's Plantation on the books for some of us that didn't get to go last time. It's an amazing place. And I think we have an Oklahoma. Yeah, we have an Oklahoma event that Lorenda's working on. And then in September, we have the 2024 Parapalooza that's going to be in Palestine, Texas, at the Texas jail.
It'll be fun.
Jailhouse.
Yeah.
That's gonna be something. We haven't got too much of the details yet. I think it's all in the works, but I think it's going to be. I know that we were trying to get them to make it 2 days. Make it 2 days. Make it 2 days. So we'll have to see if they're going to do that or not. But that's something to look forward to too.
Yeah.
That'll be September 7th, I believe.
Yes.
Parapalooza date.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got so far.
Yep. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about the 209. I think now, like, it seems like, with all the noises the house is making and all that stuff, I wonder if it's like realizing, okay, people are coming here and they're wanting to talk to us and figure out what's going on. So I think it's stirring up activity.
Oh, yeah.
I just have a feeling. So it's like, it's vibrating, it's getting ready. Yeah.
It could be because she's had a few teams in there, and since it's doesn't have much furniture in it at all, it's pretty much a raw house. So what is there? I mean, is there is going to be noticed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there won't be interference with a bunch of other objects necessarily. Yeah. So
it's just going to be a blank slate.
Amy's got extra deets on the
Parapalooza event on September 7th. Down below.
11:06 and 9 to 2 a.m.
Woo!
So Amy,
bring your Red Bull.
Do we know? Do they have it posted? I haven't gotten pinged yet on selling of tickets yet. I'm not sure. We're catching up on our conversation.
Yeah. Oh no, she said that yet. And then she goes, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll
Yeah.
have to jump on that pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
us too. Us too.
We probably won't be able to sleep. Bring lots of, energy drinks and coffee.
Yeah.
We may
Bring
not be
that
able to sleep.
and
Cots will be
yeah.
flying.
We need to definitely set up some cameras and
Yeah.
We
bring
also
warm
need
clothing.
to, I was going to say, I'm going to have to get a few of y'all. If Carla's been, I have that little farmhouse.
Oh,
that-
yeah.
Yeah, I need to get a few of you down. There's been a couple that have gotten to come. I haven't been back in a while, but it'll have to be like a spring or fall thing so that
Oh,
I think it's really cold in that house right now. So,
yeah. No, that'll be exciting.
Yeah.
yeah. So, hadn't been back in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. It's going to be a good year. We'll keep adding to the calendar. When we
Yeah.
get things firmed up and let y'all know.
Sounds good.
Yay.
That's fun.
Well, it's 9:37. I hope you guys enjoyed our show and getting to hang with us and learn how we, got into the paranormal and
Yeah.
how, we became part of the Southern Fried Spirits Paranormal team.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to be a part of the team, and it's exciting and going on, these paranormal investigations with everybody, and I don't know. It's just it's crazy. It's like, living real life, almost Scooby Doo, but it's not like evil humans running after you in costumes.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like you're solving mysteries and
It is.
helping, and if you're lucky, and you may be helping a spirit out, or a person, depending on the place that you're going to, or whatever the owners maybe, so it's really,
It's very emotional. It's
yeah,
very emotional and it's very exciting
yeah,
when we get to do something like that, to actually help out and feel accomplished and that everything's at peace.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff. Yay. Well,
Yay.
thanks again for everybody for watching and getting to know us a little bit better, and
Yeah.
we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah. We'll
Yay.
see you on the next show.
Yeah.
All right.
So, bye, you guys. Good night.
Bye. Have a good
We'll
night.
see
Bye.
y'all next time.
Yep.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.